what's up and welcome back to another video. So in today's video we'll be comparing the 2019 and the 2020 MacBook Air. Okay, the 2020 MacBook Air is the 2020 Intel one, which came out in around February or March if I'm not wrong. So yeah, we are going to compare that and the 2019 the mid 2019 MacBook Air. So now here's the two MacBooks. This is the 2019 and this is the 2020. So now before we look at any technical specifications, as you can see, the gold on this MacBook is a bit different from the gold on this. So this is the 2019 and this is the 2020. So it's the 2021 has like a darker gold, I would say, but I personally prefer this gold because as you can see here, this has a brighter gold and this is like a more dull gold. So now we are gonna run Geekbench on both the computers. As you can see, I have Geekbench installed on this. I have Geekbench installed on this also. So now let's fire up Geekbench. Let's click Geekbench. I'm gonna click it open. Okay, so now the Geekbench is open now. As you can see here, that's a MacBook Air early 2020. Like I said, it's a 2020 model, and this is a MacBook Air. Oh, it doesn't say the year. As you can see here, the processor of this is the i5 and this is the i3. So even though this is a newer model, this MacBook has a less powerful processor. That's a disadvantage for us. Let's see what the Geekbench says about this. So I'm gonna start the Geekbench at the same time now. So Geekbench has started. Now let's wait for the Geekbench to finish its processing. So it's rendering now, so let's wait. So now the Geekbench is done processing. Now let me put this on full screen so you can see. As you can see here, the 2019 MacBook Air scored 830 on single core and 1691 on multi-core, and the 2020 early MacBook Air scored 1072 on the single core and 1789 on the multi-core. Okay, so there's actually not a big difference on the multi-core, but the single core there's a very big difference. As you can see, 830 and 1072. So that's a very big difference. It's kind of odd here. Now that we are done with Geekbench, let's do a detailed test which includes the graphics and everything. We should start testing now. So I'm going to click start test at the same time. So now the test is running on the CPUs now. It says 1.5 minutes remaining, and same for that. I'm thinking the 2019 will have better CPU because this is the i5 but this is the i3. Let's see if my guess is correct. First, let's take a look at the 2020. So the 2020 MacBook has an Intel Core i3 processor, and the CPU score is 537 and the RAM score is 235. So both the computers have the same RAM, and the GPU score is 163. Okay, the disk score is 105. So the disk score is just the speed of the SSD. Now let's go to the 2019. Is the CPU is 544, RAM is 219, and the GPU score is 155 and the disk score is 78. So that's very low, and that's the reason why this SSD is slow. Yeah, so I mean it's a fast SSD but it's not as fast as the 2021. As you can see, the write speed on the 2019 is 366 megabytes per second, but on the 2020 is 429 megabytes per second. So that's the difference. So as you can see, the 2020 MacBook Air beat the 2019 MacBook Air in every single test. So the benchmark, it beat it in every single benchmark. In Metal 3D, the 2019 scored 10 frames per second, whereas the 2020 scored 11 frames per second. So that's just a small difference. Even though the 2020 is running a i3 processor, it's actually faster than the 2019's i5 processor. That's kind of a difference, but this is a 1.60 gigahertz, but this is just the 1.10 gigahertz. So even though this is a less powerful processor, it still scores better than the 2019 MacBook. Well, that's weird, but yeah, that's the scores of it. So now we are done with Geekbench. Let's just close this out and let's start testing the speakers. First, let's start with the 2019 MacBook Air. Let's play the sound here. Let me put it on full volume now.
if I do, I might say the wrong words. Oh no. So I'll keep my mouth shut and not listen. Afraid I lose you if I didn't. Can we find what we're missing and compromise?
So now let's go on to the 2020 MacBook Air. So now let me put it on full volume now.
I don't wanna say anything, cause if I do, I might say the wrong words. Oh no. So I'll keep my mouth shut and not listen. Afraid I lose you if I didn't. Can we find what we're missing and compromise? So I'll keep my shoes.
So now we listen to both the MacBook speakers. So in my opinion, I feel like the 2019 MacBook Air has more bass. 2019 MacBook Air is, the speakers have like a sharp sound, so it's not that comfortable to hear. I mean, that's my opinion, by the way. And I feel like this, when you put it at full volume, it has this sharp noise. It's definitely not white noise, but it's like this sharp noise which makes like the listening a bit unpleasant. Let me play it for you, so now we can observe to the sharp noise here.
I'll keep my shoes on and not leave. We're on thin ice, winter season. Can we find a single reason not to say goodbye?
Yep, that's it. That's the sharp noise I was talking about. So it has this screeching sharp noise which makes the full volume listening a bit unpleasant, but nevertheless it's a good speaker for a MacBook, but it still has that sharp noise. Now let's move on to the 2020 MacBook Air. Let's listen carefully this time. Yep, that was what I was talking about. So I feel like these speakers are better. I mean, it's technically it's supposed to be better. So now after we are done with Geekbench, we are done with the speakers. Now let's move on to the webcam. So this is the quality of the webcam on the 2019. Let me bring it closer as you can see, so you can see. Now let's go to the 2020. You can see. So yep. So the 2019 has a product webcam, but this has a, if I'm not wrong, this is 720p and this is a 1080p if I'm not wrong, but I'm not really sure about that. Let's go check it out. Okay, so when I was thinking about checking out the camera megapixels, I just remembered that Apple didn't change their camera quality for like the past 7 years if I'm not wrong. I think it was refreshed back in the 2015 or 2014 if I'm not wrong, the MacBook, and then it's still the same MacBook. So I think there's some changes to the software or something that made the MacBook have a better quality. But even though it's the same camera, it's quite weird that we are having a better quality in this. Also, the 2019 MacBook Air and the 2020 MacBook Air is actually different in shape also. So this one is, the 2021 is actually a bit thicker than the 2019 one. That's for some weird reason, so I can actually feel it. So when I go from here, it's actually thicker. The 2019 one is very thin, whereas the 2021 it's slightly thicker. I hope you can see. So this one, the starting is like the MacBook Air, but in the 2020 MacBook, the starting is like a MacBook Pro. You can see this is probably a bit thinner than the MacBook Pro, but it's almost the same size. So yeah guys, I think we are at the end of the video now. That is it, and this is not we are not comparing every single aspect of it. We are not like comparing the battery life or anything, but this is just a basic test on the GPU, the CPU, and the SSDs, of course. So this is just the basic test on all the important hardwares. So I hope this video was helpful to all of you. So yeah guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.